Celestine Cheney, Andre McNeil, Hayward Patterson, Catherine Massey, Margus D. Morrison, Aaron Salter, Geraldine Talley, Pearl Young, and Mrs. Ruth E. Whitfield.
An impactful moment today on Capitol Hill. Buffalo's former fire commissioner, Garnell Whitfield, joining the president to unveil new federal gun legislation, reading the names, as you just heard, of the 10 men and women killed in the Tops mass shooting on May 14th.
And this Thursday will mark 2 months since that attack. And just today, Tops announcing it will reopen the Jefferson Avenue store on Friday after promising a complete renovation inside and outside of that building.
In the weeks since, dozens of other communities across the country have been impacted by mass shootings, but new laws in Washington are looking to reduce gun violence by targeting specific aspects of the problem. Here's a look at some of the numbers tonight. Since the attack on the Jefferson Avenue store, the Gun Violence Archive reports there have been 129 mass shootings. The archive considers an attack a mass shooting when 4 or more people are shot. 65 of them were fatal. 146 people were killed.
Well, some of those most closely impacted by the mass shooting here in Buffalo joined Whitfield in D.C. today. They were there to see President Joe Biden roll out the Safer Communities Act. It marks the first major federal gun safety legislation in decades, and the act will send money to states to implement red flag laws. It will close the boyfriend loophole by requiring background checks for people convicted of domestic abuse. It will fund school-based mental health programs and safety resources and create a waiting period for people under 21 trying to buy a gun. I spoke with a number of family members who were at the White House this afternoon, and we talked about their loved ones and their ideas to create real change here at home and across the country.
My cousin was Margus Morrison. He was the first one killed outside sitting at a bus stop.
I am the niece of Pearl Young and cousin of Margus Morrison.
And my mom was Pearl Young. My mother was an amazing woman. My mother was a saint of God.
Numerous family members whose loved ones were killed at Tops on Jefferson Avenue in Buffalo were at the White House Monday as President Biden commemorated the passage of the new bipartisan Safer Communities Act.
That's what we owe those families in Buffalo, where a grocery store became a killing field.
Former Buffalo Fire Commissioner Garnell Whitfield, whose mother Ruth Whitfield was also killed, spoke at the ceremony.
The devastating reality is that an individual armed with a weapon of war walked in with cameras rolling and massacred them in the name of a hateful ideology.
Whitfield says despite the terrible tragedy and loss of life, our Buffalo community is stronger than ever.
For we have instead chosen to love over hate, to speak out rather than stay silent, and to stand with those courageous enough to lead us to the signing of the most impactful gun legislation in over 30 years.
Family members I spoke with say the new gun law is a step in the right direction, but more needs to be done.
We have to keep talking. Pam had to see what an AR-15 does to a human skull. I believe that if we required insurance on military-grade weapons, the insurance companies don't ever want to pay anything out. And so they will do the due diligence that the police and the gun sellers should have done to know the police have already showed up at his house.
The president also mentioned, lock and key. We're not opposed to this people having their Second Amendment rights. Okay.
Right.
I mean, if that's what you want to do, there's no opposition there. The opposition comes when these guns fall into hands of people that are not responsible.
They all agree conversations like the one we had during our Buffalo Strong conversation a month after the shooting are vital.
That maybe conversation will spark interest, and interest will then turn the corner from hatred to embracing. That's what we need. It cannot be old news. And we need to continue our conversations.
Family members also telling me that they had a conversation with the First Lady today about efforts to help those struggling with mental health issues.
Big day in the nation.